What makes you different? Why do you feel like you're successful versus somebody else?
Well, I treat this as my full-time job. Give yourself the minute to the day, the afternoon, whatever, to have a little pity party for yourself. Like, that's okay. But then wake up the next morning ready to get back into the game.
All right, super excited about this podcast episode. I have Jackie Lavalle here with me. She is one of our top agents on our team. She's a devoted mother to two beautiful girls, a wife, and one of our top agents, as I said. She's done already over nearly 6 million in volume on our team just this year. And I'm super excited to sit down with you today and just talk about life and what's working and what's not and what has made you so successful. So thank you so much for coming on here with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is my first podcast.
Yay! Awesome. Okay. So let's start with a little bit of like, how did you get into this business? Where did it start for Jackie?
Yeah, so I had been in marketing in the corporate world for over 10 years. Had my first child, took a few years off, and then really felt like I was kind of lost and had lost myself a bit, staying at home, and I really didn't have anything of my own. I had always, sounds very cliche, but I'd always liked looking on Zillow and looking at houses and all that stuff. And I think it was probably during the pandemic where I had a lot of time on my hands and decided I'm just gonna get my license and see what happens. And so I joined a large brokerage to start as a solo agent. That was a very bad idea. I did not know what I was doing. I had no support, and I was like flailing. So that lasted about 8 weeks. Joined another small local brokerage where I'm from up north. Had some success. The market was hot. Converted, many open house leads as well as some sphere in like a short 6-7 month period. Moved down to Florida. I had already been speaking with Claire, and we definitely hit it off, and it just felt like so perfect, and right. It was the right fit for me. And now it's been almost 4 years here with you. And it was definitely the best decision I have made in my real estate career because meeting you, this team, having everyone has really catapulted me to another level that I did not even think was possible. I really thought maybe I would just do this kind of like a side hustle as a mom and just make some money and whatever, but it really has become like a full career, and I just did not think that was how things would pan out, really.
Nice. That's exciting. Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about you and a lot of the women that join the team is I think they all kind of starts as a little side thing, and I think it's something that grows into something that gives you your independence and a career of your own and identity of your own. So I love that. Very cool. All right, well, let's jump into like your day-to-day. So what does a day in Jackie's life look like? Maybe a really good day or your average day. What are some of your habits that make you successful?
Yeah, so I wake up earlier than everyone in my house, typically around 5:45 in the morning, maybe 6. I work out first thing in the morning, at least 4 or 5 days a week. I really feel like I need that me time, and it's like I enjoy working out, but it's also like for my mental health as well. So I work out and then help kind of get my kids a little off to school, and then I start work. Probably by like 8:30 I am making calls. I have recently re-implemented. I had we go through these phases where we get super busy and then our prospecting kind of falls off. And even though I've been doing this for, years now, I still get caught into that cycle. And so thank you to Claire for giving me a little push. Really protecting my prospecting time in the morning is we 10 a.m. After 10 a.m.
We've recently started a little challenge where Jackie protecting that morning at least until 10 a.m. Not doing transaction stuff, not answering calls or getting not the urgent, unimportant stuff, but really focused on prospecting.
Yeah. And I would say 80-20 rule, 80%, it's going great. And then 20%, we have days where that just falls off.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but as long as I'm like committed to that and focused on it and aware of it, then like that's all that really matters to me. As long as I'm making that time to prospect, because I know what it's like when you stop those habits and find yourself now as we go into the off season here with no business.
Yeah.
And it's not a great place to be, and it's not a great feeling.
Yeah, let's dive into that a little bit more because I think that's such an important thing, right? Every podcast, every successful agent, every coaching program tells you to do these things, right? But I think it's the number one thing people struggle with the most, right? To protect that morning. It seems like things always come up. So rather than, you shared with me how you do it, but how does it make you feel on a day when you protect your morning and you get that done? What does that day feel like compared to a day that starts with that tending to whatever comes in? What is the difference in those 2 days?
Yeah, so when I'm protecting my morning, starting off with prospecting, A, I feel a lot more accomplished by 10 a.m. And B, it kind of just like sets the tone for the day. There's a rhythm, it's not like I'm living in a place of chaos. When I am not prospecting or starting my morning off the way I need to be, then it just feels like the entire day is chaos. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get all these things done. And I did not do the most important thing that I needed to do that day. And then I feel, I'm kind of mad at myself because I know what I need to do. I just didn't do it. And again, some days that'll happen, but like trying not to live in that constant state of chaos is the best way to be because it's exhausting.
And I love that. It's so important because I think that's a lot of things people deal with, right? The burnout, right? Real estate, I'm always working, I'm exhausted, whatever. Again, the burnout, getting out of the business, feeling like, how could I do that? I don't have enough time in the day. When really it's the opposite. If you do that, your day feels so structured and feels so organized, and it's not chaotic. So I just wanted, I think that's so important to understand that if you can just get into that habit, it can really change your business completely. Not to mention produce significant business for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Yeah, I think there's some statistic, people, rarely does the business come from the first time you talk to them. It's all follow-up, right? So what makes you different than most agents? Let's say we've got an agent that's prospecting in the morning. Aside from that, right, and you're working out in the morning, what makes you different? Why do you feel like you're successful versus somebody else? What's the one or two things somebody should do that you're doing?
Well, I treat this as my full-time job. I am not, spending my afternoon at the grocery store or doing, other sort of random tasks. Like, this is my job full time, at least 8 hours a day, right? Monday through Friday. We, of course, know things trickle into the weekend.
Sure.
So, like, this is my full time job. I create my own schedule, but like, I am focused and committed to that full day of work, and every day, no matter what it is, there's always something to be done for this business. Whether it's prospecting, following up on emails, following up with clients. I mean, like organizing your database. There's just so many things that you can do. And if you have extra time to like do some of those little administrative things, like that's very important too. So fully committed to if this is my full-time job. I'm also extremely driven. It's like I said, I started off as a part-time little side gig, and whatever changed over the course of time. I mean, I am in this. I'm in it to, I want to say win it, but that's kind of lame. But, I am extremely dedicated, committed to my craft, and committed to like improving my craft as well. There's no like, oh, I'm good, I know everything. No, like, what else can I be doing? What else can I learn? Who can I learn from? I guess that's what. That's 2 key points.
Such a big one, right? I was thinking while you were talking too that yes, you're driven. I also call that like hungry, right? Anytime you get a lead or something, you're all over it. You're following up. You're timely. You're not going, oh, I'll get back to them later today, right? That you're hungry for every piece of opportunity that comes your way. And then, like you said, that coaching, that coachability. Jackie's one of these people that every coaching call is receptive, is coachable, takes things and implements them, right? Taking action, right? come to a coaching call and kind of learn and then show up the next week and say, well, yeah, I didn't get to it, right? So that's to me on my side as your coach and mentor, that's what I see in you that's different. And like you said, you're driven, and your full-time job 100%. Do you feel like you're more disciplined with your time because you have kids and because you have time that you're trying to protect? Are you more structured and more disciplined with your day?
Yeah, I have to be. I have to be extremely efficient. I don't have like hours to waste in the day, right? I do want to see my kids after school or for dinner or whatever. Do I have appointments sometimes that coincide with that time in the evening? Of course, but sacrifice, right? We have to sacrifice some things where if we want to continue to excel and grow. Having that, knowing my kids, eat dinner at like 5:30. Like I want to be available to them as much as possible during that after school dinner time. So like I don't have the luxury of just saying, oh, I'll get to that at like 5:36. Like no, I want to spend time with my kids at that point. So I have to really be efficient in my day and like get as much as I possibly can get done. And it's good. It's like everyone, I feel like people work best under deadlines and pressure. It's human nature. So having, oh, I can do this whenever I want because I have nothing else to do, like I can see myself being a procrastinator if that were not the case. So, having to really make the most out of my time during the day is really important for me.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's a blessing. I mean, people come into this industry like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do all that because I have XYZ. And from my perspective, the people who have XYZ or, even a little part-time job or something that is demanding some of their time tend to do better because they just don't have time. To your point, they don't have time to waste. They have to get the work done. So you're right. We operate better on deadlines. Let's talk about mindset and motivation because you sound amazing, right? Your schedule's, perfect and you're home for your kids' dinner and all these things. But let's be realistic on the hard days, on the days where things don't go well and you're frustrated. What keeps you going? What keeps that mindset in check? What drives you to just keep showing up and trusting the process?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are days where I'll have a good cry. Claire knows this. There are really hard days here, whether it's your clients, whether it's a deal that's just not coming together or blowing up. I mean, kids, family, life, all of that. But at this point in my career, I know that those bad days happen. I'm going to sit there for a minute and have a cry, feel a little sorry for myself, but like that's it. Like I give myself, whether it's the afternoon, the day, whatever, but like the next morning, I'm waking up and starting all over again. I'm not going to sit here and dwell for a whole week about how sorry I feel for myself because it's just not effective. And then I also know that there are little crazy miracles that happen in real estate. So just if you're feeling like you just got, kicked in the butt the day before and then you're just feeling like really down the next day, some like amazing opportunity could just come out of thin air, right? That's just kind of how the game of real estate is. So give yourself the minute to the day, the afternoon, whatever, to have a little pity party for yourself. Like that's okay. But then wake up the next morning ready to get back into the game because that's how you're going to be successful.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we're all human, right? We need a minute, but it can't be a week or a month. It's got to be, let's move forward. All right. So you have a bad day, you have this pity party, you get yourself back up. What about like when you wake up and you're just not motivated, you don't really feel like doing the workout, you don't really feel like making the calls. What do you do on those days?
I go to the workout because you always feel better after you move your body. Even if I'm like, this was not my best workout ever, it's better than doing nothing. You just have to kind of keep going with the routine. Of course, if I'm feeling super low motivation, everything, I will definitely listen to like a podcast, some motivational speeches on YouTube, put some music on, just try to kind of get my head back in the game. But at the end of the day, I still do the work because I'm committed to the work and this is my career. This is how I help feed my family. So motivation, yeah, it's gonna be low, it's gonna be high. It doesn't really matter. You have to have the discipline and the commitment to continue moving forward. Is it going to be your best prospecting session? Maybe not, but you're gonna feel a lot better that you did it, and you're going to be able to just keep moving forward throughout the day and completing your tasks. If I'm really feeling like this is, I need, maybe I'll take a couple hours off like in the afternoon just to kind of have a little me time or something, but I continue the day and push myself forward because I'm the only one that's going to make myself show up. I don't have a boss who's clocking me in and clocking me out. So it's me holding myself accountable.
Awesome. And why does it matter so much to you? What, I guess you could say your why. I know on our team we've talked about our wall. Like, what's pushing you to show up every day? What if you don't, right?
Yeah, I mean, what if I don't? Then there's, again, financial repercussions for my family. And what pushes me every day is my family, my kids. Like, I want to be able to do things with them, take them places, go on vacation, whatever it is. And I see a future for myself in this career. And like, I see a way for me to scale the business so that in another 4 or 5 years, whatever, I am not maybe running around as much as I currently am, and I have more time. It's all about the time with my family that makes, that is most important to me. And I know I have to sacrifice, and it is a struggle, a hustle, whatever, to get to that place. But nothing, you don't get a reward from doing the bare minimum.
Yeah. I love that. And I think people talk about like this big why and they want all these things and whatever, but sometimes even just the day to day. I know for me, like the moments I have with my kids and I or go to their school functions or go on the vacation and be able to check out, right? Those are special moments. Those are things you get to do as well right now, right? And it's like, yes, the ultimate goal I think for everybody is that financial freedom, right? We want to be able to work less and scale our business, which is something we are going towards. We're talking about investment properties with you now. But enjoy the life as well. I think that's something you go on those vacations with your kids and you can't do those things. You can't afford those things, both time and money, if you're not working hard in between.
Right. Yeah. Right? You have to work to get to the reward part. And I feel like not everyone kind of can see that or come to terms with that.
Yep. 100%. Cool. So why do you feel like, so we've laid it out, right? We have this blueprint. I did a webinar the other day. I gave you the exact blueprint that probably, that Jackie basically follows, as does most of our team. Why do you think some agents struggle and don't succeed where some agents like you do?
Well, I think there's definitely a misconception about what real estate is. We watch these shows on whatever, selling sunset, selling whatever. That, it really glamorizes the entire industry. But, realtors know that is a fairy tale fantasy of what we're seeing. We're not seeing the angry clients or the listings that don't sell or the deals that fall apart or the bad days where agents are, again, having a pity party and, we don't see any of that. We're just seeing the glamour and the highlights and all of that. So you have to that is just not how it is. And no matter what job you're starting, what career you're starting, like you have to go all in. There is no weekly paycheck here. You cannot start real estate thinking I'm going to make money and I'm going to get a huge check in a month. That's not how it is. It takes time to grow a pipeline, to your skills, improving your skills as an agent and all of that. And, the expectation that you're going to start making a ton of money in the first month or two is just not realistic, right?
Yeah.
You will start making money within the first few months, most likely, at least if you're on our team, you will, but you're not going to be, rolling in the dough here. It takes time. So starting with that understanding and having that financial ability as well. If you cannot financially afford to go all in real estate, then you have to know that it is
Yeah.
not, you are not going to instantly be making money,
Right.
and it takes time to develop.
Yep. Awesome. What do you think? So we have a pretty big team here, and so we bring on new agents. Every month we have a small group of agents that come on, and you see them kind of go through. You see some succeed, you see some fail, right? What do you think what are like the main mistakes that some of these new agents are making?
Not prospecting and spending time making calls. That's the number one thing. I don't care how you sound on the phone, just keep calling.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get better every phone call. Any person that hangs up on you,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to teach you how to do something differently the next time. You have to have a thick skin. People are not super friendly all the time on the phone, and you cannot let that affect you. It's not you, it's them.
Yeah.
Just keep calling. That's literally, if you have nothing else to do, you don't have clients, you have no business,
Right.
pick up the phone. I used to sit hours in the day.
I'm laughing because I remember at our little office, we would make calls all in there together.
Yeah.
I was in there making calls with you guys, hollering at you, correcting your script or
Yeah.
what you were supposed to say or not say. No one sounded good, but everyone just kept
Right.
trying.
I mean, that's all you can do, right? We just have to try. So as
Yeah.
long as you pick up that phone and start dialing, like, the business will come. You will get better on the phone.
Yep.
You will find the clients, and the business will come.
Awesome. Very good. So, in closing here, what are your goals? What are your goals ahead? I mean, moving forward?
Yeah. So continuing to scale my business, getting myself a little out of some of the littler, smaller tasks that are involved with whether it's attending home inspections, listing photos, so on and so forth, and continue to grow as a listing agent. Take on more listings at a very high level, and just continue to grow my skills, my craft, and everything as far as a listing agent goes, because I know that is the way to get the business that I need to get to the volume I need to get. My goal this year is 20 million in volume. And if I don't start stacking the listings and all of that, then I'm not going to get there. Of course, I will work some buyers, and I love them, but to me, this business, to be successful, is about stacking the listings, because the more opportunities come from the listings.
Yep. Yeah. And your goal this year is 36 listings?
36. I think we may have to up that, but
Nice. You're ahead of your goal.
I'm ahead of my goal. I'd like some of the listings to start selling, but it's all about the volume at this point. If it took 36 listings 1 year to sell 20 of them, in this market, you're probably gonna need at least 15 plus on top of that to get the same result, not even a different result.
Right.
You have to work harder now. So just continuing becoming the best listing agent I possibly can, learning, growing, and stacking the listings, because I know that's the way for me to have the finances I want, what I need, and essentially kind of get me out of a lot of that running around, showing homes, that kind of life, and spend more time with my family.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this year I want to share too that we've grown we've started having you have a showing partner. So we've started, and that's kind of the thing, right? You plug into a team versus your leverage is the administrative. Then we start to grow, and this is how I scaled, right? And so Jackie's following in my footprints here, and I'm taking her through exactly what I did, right? We're doing a showing partner. Someday there may be a listing partner in there. To the point where now you're doing very high volume listings, but you actually are just going on listing appointments. And so that's ultimately the goal. Very cool. Any advice for an agent that wants to follow in your path?
Yes, I guess, set up, this is going to sound like a very cliche, but set up your calendar for success. I don't know what your day looks like, but if you kind of look at what some of the most successful people in the world are doing, they all wake up early. Claire wakes up a little earlier than I'm ever going to be willing to do, but everyone wakes up earlier than their household, because that's how you set up your day for success. Get your personal me time in, and then start focusing on your work, right? So set up your day successfully, make the calls. Do not be afraid to make the calls.
Mm-hmm.
Take every single opportunity that is given to you, whether it's going to pan out or not. You don't know unless you take it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just continue growing and learning and getting as much knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
experience as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to spend 40 hours is very light when I say that. I'm saying, maybe 50 or more hours a week working in real estate. Like, I did not spend 40 hours a week when I started here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was way more, like,
a
lot more
more
hours.
It was also COVID and wives running around with all kinds of buyers.
And like, you are gonna have to work some weekends. You're never just not gonna have to answer a call, but also you'll be able to eventually set boundaries. Like, I don't have to take this call today. I will call them back tomorrow. It's Saturday, right? So it's not urgent. But yeah, you have to put in the time, the work, and continue growing. Like, there's so much to learn always, so much we can change just one little habit or one little part of our pitch or whatever it is, to keep growing and getting to that next level.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. It makes me think like abundance mindset, right? You said take every opportunity. From my perspective, that's one mistake a lot of agents make, right? I get agents that apply for the team and immediately want to know what the splits are or what this, and it's like that mindset of looking at what you're losing instead of what you're gaining, right? Each opportunity that comes your way, it's like, well, is this gonna, what's in it for me kind of attitude, where you've always been somebody that's like, yep, take it and run with it, I don't really care. And that's why you evolved into helping me on a lot of listings, being on one of my biggest builder accounts, like that people want to help you and give you opportunity when that is your mindset, right? And opportunities come your way. What you put out there is what you get back. And so that is so important if you're starting. That's something that Jackie has always had and has allowed her to be super successful. So how can people connect with you, Jackie, if they want to follow you? Are you on Instagram? Are you anywhere?
Yes, this is definitely the area I lack the most in, is my social media. But yes, I am on Instagram. It is Jacqueline LaValle Realty. And then you can follow us at the Gogan team.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll see some posts.
Yep.
Shoot me a DM. I would love to talk to you. And I wish anyone who's starting their real estate career much success.
Yeah.
And come join our team, because
yes,
it is a wonderful place to start. And we have such a great group here. Claire is the best mentor, seriously, and we'd love to have you.
Awesome. Very cool, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited. Message me, message Jackie. Absolutely. Talk to us about the team. These are the type of mentors that we have on the team. Jackie and all of our top agents are contributors. We want to see people succeed. And so I hope you took something away from this. And thank you so much for being here and joining and watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.
See ya.
Bye.